Hello, and welcome to the dungeon. I'm your host, Rob. I wanted to give some thoughts about the new Magic the Gathering set, Adventuring in the Forgotten Realms. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Wizards of the Coast, the same company that now owns Dungeons and Dragons and has for quite some time now, first made it big by making a game called Magic the Gathering. And so now they own both, and they previously did, like, this is where Ravnica came from, is that it was originally a Magic the Gathering world, and then later they made it into a D&D setting. But now they're kind of doing the opposite, where they're taking the Forgotten Realms D&D setting, and they're moving that into Magic the Gathering. And I first thought that this was probably going to be kind of cheesy and lame, and probably not very cool. It just reeked of like poor commercialism, in my opinion. However, I was wrong, and it is awesome. I was originally going to have like some of the format, or I was going to have like some gameplay and stuff, and me showing some of the cards. But I was having problems with OBS, and I was like, I could maybe try deleting it and reinstalling it and then resetting it up again, and that sounds like a lot of work. I'll just talk about it for 10 minutes. Who cares? So, anyways, I think that some of the things I've really liked is that, like when you see like legendary creatures, usually you kind of get to know who they are in Magic just because people play them and they're supposedly legendary creatures. But in this case, when somebody plays like Bruenor Battlehammer, that is a legendary creature. I know who Bruenor is. He's in a bunch of books, I know who Drizzt is. I know who Lolth is. I know who Orcus and the Demogorgon are. And to me, that's been a lot of fun. They've also added some new mechanics. One of them, which is dungeon delving. Certain cards will like trigger you explore a dungeon, and then there's 3 different dungeons you can choose from. There's Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Lost Mines of Phandalar, which is the shortest. Dungeon of the Mad Mage is the longest, and then Tomb of Annihilation, which is like the middle length one, and also the most brutal to both yourself and your enemy. And then each of them, as you explore the dungeons, every time you trigger an effect that allows you to explore the dungeon, you advance like 1 more level through the dungeon. And a lot of times it'll be like branching paths, and each step gives you like small bonuses, and then when you complete the dungeon, you get like a bigger bonus, right? At least that's the theory, anyway. And it's been actually a lot of fun. I've mostly been doing a lot of drafting lately. I went 7-2 tonight, so I was pretty happy with that. 7 wins is where you cap out in that draft format. So that was about as good as I could have done. I mean, I could have gone 7-0, I guess, but still, you know what I'm saying. It was great. And they've had a lot of like just really interesting stuff. Like not only the legendary creatures like Lolth is in it, people like that. Volo's in it, and it's kind of neat to see a lot of those characters all like transferred over and turned into like Magic the Gathering cards. But they've also had a lot of stuff like Planar Ally is a card, right? And it's like a 3/3 white flyer that every time it attacks, you explore a dungeon, So if you have one of them in play, then just every round you're flying over and attacking the guy for 3 and also exploring the dungeon at the same time. And they've had some really, really cool stuff like that. I like a lot of the kind of ideas and themes, and it's just been a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Like I said, I thought it was going to be cheesy and lame. My buddy and former roommate Mark was the one who first got me to start playing it again, and we've been doing a ton of drafting and just having a good time with it. So anyways, I didn't really want to talk about it a lot. This is still primarily a Dungeons and Dragons channel, but I did think that it was at least worth noting that, the new Magic the Gathering set is all based on Forgotten Realms. And it's true that I mostly prefer to make my own realms and my own game settings, but I still like the Forgotten Realms. Maybe not quite as much as Greyhawk, but I don't know. Actually, that's kind of a tough call. Greyhawk is kind of crappy in some ways, but awesome in others, so it's hard to say. Dark Sun was always kind of interesting, sort of more low magic, I like a bunch of them, but I also like creating my own stuff, so that's where I usually go. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of neat to see like guys like a Minsk made it in, a lot of those types of characters. It's neat that you can have like a bunch of like legendary lands and stuff that are, like the Dark Elf City, whatever it's called, whatever that thing is that's unpronounceable to the human tongue, stuff like that. So Anyway, I just thought that was cool and neat, and I figured, it's D&D related, at least tangentially. I'll make a quick video about it and just kind of rant a bit. I was originally gonna, like I said, have, some gameplay footage, but not worth the time or effort. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's everything. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, okay? See ya. Bye.